The numbers are in. These sales all took place prior to Super Bowl 57. 58. Jem, what is it? I don't know. I don't watch sports ball.
Come on, Tom. Everybody knows it's Super Bowl 63.
I don't even know if that's right, Jem, but we're talking about the hottest comic books in the world. Some books spiked because of the Super Bowl. Let's get into it, because at the list at number 10, we have a golden record reprint. Hit the like and subscribe. We talk about the hottest books every single week.
We saw this one coming a mile away. Just 2 weeks ago, we had ASM 1, the GRR, hit the list. Last week, we had the first print Fantastic Four issue number 1, and here we are, number 10, FF1 Golden Record Reprint, the first facsimile. And usually people get into this as the next best thing, the closest thing to that first printing, first appearance of Marvel's first family. The 7.0 sold for $900. That's 26% above its 12-month average. And then we have a record setter and a record breaker. A CGC 1.8 sold for $290 for the first time in comic book history, setting the bar for the price in that grade. And then we have the 2.0. The highest it sold was during the comic boom back in 2021, where it sold for $599. Since then, it's hit lows as low as $174, but here we are with a new record-breaking sale, just $1 over the prior record, but selling for $600.
I think someone either overpaid for this book or they're way ahead of the curve just trying to bank on the announcements that are going to come in probably at San Diego Comic-Con this year. Because you could have gotten a 5 or a 4 or even a 3.0 for the amount that that buyer just paid for. However, a lot can change in just a few months. We're even hearing persistent rumors about Pedro Pascal portraying Mr. Fantastic. And in this last week, it looks like there may have been a leak, an accidental announcement.
Yeah, during the Screen Actors Guild, they did a career profile on Pedro Pascal, and they accidentally let it slip that his next role will be in the Fantastic Four movie. Even the director shared the news on his Instagram, but quickly went into panic mode and deleted it.
This is nuts. This is the most confirmation we've gotten about anything Fantastic Four. What do you think about this potential confirmation in the comment section below? And do yourself a solid, up your comic game, support the show, and download the best comic app in existence. It's called Key Collector Comics. Use code TOM101 to unlock a free 2-week subscription of the app. When news breaks, comics start to move. This app will tell you what's happening.
Speaking of confirmation, number 9 on the list, we have Avengers 57, the first appearance of the Vision and the second appearance of Ultron.
Will the Marvel star Paul Bettany reprise his role as the Vision? That has been on collectors' mind for quite some time. This book is down and seemingly a perfect time to buy despite any spec reasons. Well, a fan at MegaCon directly asked him if we were going to see the Vision again, and this is what he had to say.
After a long pause, he says, well, yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I? Yes, 100%.
There it is. We're going to get the Vision back, and this book is more affordable than ever. It's double digits Avengers, and we have a 4.5 going for $249, up 6%, 5.5 up 8%. The 6.0 is holding steady, selling for $380. The 7.0 is up 4%, just like the 7.5, and the 8.0 you can get for $750, a classic Silver Age Avengers key book, and it's up 6%.
I just got done reading Transformers 5. I'm loving the new Energon universe. Number 8 on the list, we have the OG, the Transformers issue number 1 from Marvel Comics 1984.
George Corona's taking over artistic duty on issue number 7. Shout out to Daniel Warren Johnson, who's been doing the heavy lifting, writing, and drawing for the first arc, which has been superb. This book on the list, issue 1 of Transformers, is hot as hell, and it's selling aggressively. And in the highest of grades, it's still selling about average, which is very surprising considering the uptick in census count. We have the 9.0 selling for $150, an increase of 8%. A newsstand 9.2 is going for $280, an increase of 57%. The 9.4 is selling for $302, that's up 51%. The 9.6 is going for $345, that's an increase of 4%. And the 9.8 hit $1,500, an increase of 6%. Despite the fact that there are more 9.8s on the census, 3 since we last chatted about this book, but it's been on a steady uptick every time this book hits our list, this book is still averaging right around that same amount. We would typically see it start going in the other direction, but there are a lot of fans hunting for this book in high grade.
Yeah, and even though this is one of those books that has not fared well since the comic boom, it was hot back then due to the nostalgic cycle. But now it's got a whole new reason to show up on the list with the Energon universe and the new shared cinematic universe.
Keep an eye out on Free Comic Book Day. We have Energon Universe Special 2024 #1 featuring Transformers on the cover. That's Optimus Prime. That's Megatron. And you can pick this up for free. Go support your local comic shop and read more comics. And let's look at #7 on the list because, dare I say it, Marvel Premiere #15, the first appearance of Iron Fist. What the hell is this doing here?
That's right, we got the first appearance of Danny Rand, the Iron Fist, and why is this book on the list? I mean, this is probably the least likely character that we'll see brought back to the MCU. However, Marvel did just release the Danny Rand Iron Fist Early Years Omnibus just last month.
He's been replaced in the comics. No one liked the initial portrayal from the Netflix days. However, there are rumors circulating that we may get an Iron Fist, but a different actor or actress to portray them.
And we know how the community just loves when they do that. But the book is hot. The CGC 4.5 selling for $150 puts it 16% above average. The 7.0 is up 7%. The 7.5 is up 11%. The 8.0 is also up 7%. And then the 9.0 sold for $500, 23% above average.
Multiple sales that are tracking above the recent 12-month average. That's what places a book on the Hot 10. And with that many sales happening, clearly, some members are banking on Danny Rand. Or they're just looking for a good deal. You can get a 9.8 for $4,000 right now on a book that came out in 1974. I digress, because at the list at #6, we have Uncanny X-Men #130, who is clearly on this list as the last purchases prior to Super Bowl 52.
Did the Super Bowl spec pay off? We did get the trailer for Deadpool 3, which we now know is Deadpool and Wolverine, but we didn't get any Taylor Swift, we didn't get Dazzler or Lady Deadpool.
This is the Dark Phoenix Saga Part 2. First appearance of Dazzler, second appearance of Kitty Pryde, second appearance of Emma Frost, first appearance of Sebastian Shaw. Like, this is a major moment in X-Men history. It came out in 1980. A lot of people are buying this book now because of Taylor Swift. Let's see some of the purchases they made. Newsstand 8.0, up 42%, selling for $232. The 8.5 Direct went for $188, an increase of 11%. Newsstand 9.0, $280 for an increase of 29%. Newsstand 9.4, an increase of 14%. Newsstand 9.6, an increase of 7%. And another 9.8 registered on GPA as a sale for a total of $1,850. And that's an increase of 18%. That is basically top of market right now.
We might not have seen Taylor Swift in the Deadpool trailer, but you damn sure saw her during the entire Super Bowl. Tom, what do you think? Is there still a chance that we're going to see her playing Dazzler in this movie?
I'm still voting on Lady Deadpool, and I got to know the community's thoughts in the comment section below, because by the week, I feel like people's opinions are changing. I could be wrong, but at the list at #5, we have more Iron Fist. Just kidding. It's Iron Fist 14. This is the first appearance of the Sabretooth.
Yeah, and I feel like that's who they were introducing off screen during the trailer. I mean, no surprise, we saw the leaked footage. We know we're getting these Fox Universe characters, villains, and heroes, and we're probably going to see Sabretooth become decapitated. This book is still hot. It's a mutant key. It's a Deadpool and Wolverine key, and we got a 7.0 selling for $450. That's up 30% from its 12-month average. The 8.0 can't even keep up. It also sold for $450. That's 2% above average. The 8.5 is maintaining. The 9.0 is up 13%. The 9.2 is up 36%. It sold for $950, and the 9.4 can't even keep up. It sold for $873, less than the 9.2, but still 3% above average.
That 9.2, in which there have been a lot of sales of this book, is the highest recorded one this year thus far, when this book could have been secured for around $700. Some people are putting their spec dollars down on Sabretooth. Next on the list at #4, Amazing Spider-Man 210. Jem, tell me you saw the interview with Madam Web actress Dakota Johnson.
I did catch it, and it looks like she was very familiar with comic books, including her first appearance.
That is not at all the truth, Jem. So during an interview, the interviewer provided Dakota a copy of this book on the list, ASM 210, the first appearance of Madam Web, and wanted to get her reaction to the first appearance of the character she portrays in film. And I can't help but think that she may have not known. I'm kind of being a little funny here, but there is a possibility, which is kind of crazy to think about, a small possibility that she didn't know that Madam Web was an elderly woman in the comics.
Yeah, Very cool. I like that she's like so sassy and spicy in all the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got some sauce going on.
She's
for sure.
very saucy.
Yeah, I don't think she knew that Madame Web was really an elderly woman from the comic books, but I'm starting to see a lot of promotion for Madame Web. The actresses are doing their rounds. Some people are excited for it. Tom and Ryan cannot wait to see this movie, and collectors are still picking up this first appearance. The 8.5 sold for $1.50. That's 36% above its average. The 9.0 is up 29% above average. That 9.2 is maintaining. The 9.4, look at this, 31% up. The 9.6 is 34% up. And the 9.8 is doing a little bit better than average, selling for $800.
This book was like wavering in the $600 range, and the movie comes out this week, and someone dropped $800 on a classic ASM key. Do you think that's a bad call? Do you see this book hitting much lower than maybe $600-700 at a 9.8? Because I feel like ASM collectors will start scooping it up regardless of what happens on the screen, because this book, in total, is up 107% week over week in copies sold. I don't know what's going on.
I think $800 is a fair price for a 9.8. This is going to be a coveted Spider-Man key long after this movie is done. I mean, it hit $2,500 during the height of the comic boom. $800 seems okay.
You have hours to join the mystery mail call for this month, and we're going to pack the box with new number ones that you have to read by cover artists that are superb. One per box, Vengeance of Moon Knight by E.M. Gist, a virgin cover going out to every single member, and Avengers Twilight. We have Chip Zdarsky goodness with a Peach Momoko trade dress MegaCon variant going in every single box. ComicTom101.com to join. Link in the description. Read some comic books.
I've been reading my comic books. I'm digging The Ultimate Spider-Man by Jonathan Hickman. Ultimate Black Panther was pretty good as well, and the Energon universe, of course. Moving on to number 3, we have ASM 300, the first full appearance of Venom. Todd McFarlane goodness. I don't know why this book is on the list.
This book is always trending. First appearance of Venom. It's an anniversary issue. Todd McFarlane, right? The most reprinted in homage cover of all time. But this book has gone up very high in years past, and I think that that's why it hasn't landed on the Hot 10 nearly as much. Seldomly do we have multiple sales coming in that are above the 12-month average, but like many other books on this list, some are getting too low, and members are starting to scoop them up, indicating that some keys may be hitting rock bottom.
The only thing that comes to mind when I think about Todd was he was recently back on Whatnot doing a huge charity auction stream. He had original art, he was doing live sketches, so when eyes are on Todd, those keys start to move. A CGC Newsstand 6.0 sold for $320, that's up 3%. Direct Market 6.5 is up 8%. The Newsstand 7.5 is up 1%. The Newsstand 8.0 is up 21%. And the Direct Market 8.5 sold for $495, which is 5% up.
The Newsstand 9.0 is up 17%. The 9.2 Direct is up 8%. The Newsstand 9.2 is up 5%. And a 9.4 just sold for $937. That's an increase of 29%. This book could have been purchased around the $700 marker for the last 12 months.
And speaking of the last 12 months, we've seen this book on the list almost every week in the last 12 months. Wolverine issue number 1, Frank Miller cover, first solo miniseries, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see this on the list next week as well.
The talk has been all about Deadpool 3, when in reality, it's called Deadpool and Wolverine. This is as much a Wolverine movie, seemingly, as Deadpool. And I'm curious if there were any like non-comic nerds who knew Hugh Jackman wasn't reprising the role, because this Super Bowl ad really made it seem like this was an announcement to something that we knew was coming all along.
And we got that Patch cameo as well, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Wolverine 1 from the first ongoing and Wolverine 8. Are we going to get Mr. Fix-It in this movie? Everyone who's been specking on this book just got justified, because you're right. This is very much a Wolverine movie just as much as it is a Deadpool movie. The Newsstand 8.0 is up 10%. The Direct Market 9.0 is up 12%. The 9.2 is up 15%. The 9.4 is up 14%. The Newsstand 9.4 sold for $286. That's 18% above average. And the Direct Market 9.6 sold for $350, 34% up.
This is why you have to hit the subscribe button, because a $700 sale is rather aggressive in this market. Someone paid under $600 in the last 7 days. In fact, the last GPA sale for a 9.8 was for $550. And of all the books that spiked over the Super Bowl, it really wasn't any of these. Like at this point, clearly the book that's like the most hunted for is Secret Wars 5, which features an Alex Ross cover of God Emperor Doom.
Yeah, so it's not the first appearance of God Doom, but they're clearly trying to foreshadow future events. That's what's got me most excited about this trailer. And moving on to number 1, of course, you can't have Wolverine without Deadpool and his first appearance in New Mutants 98.
Over 10 different sales trending above average. We're not going to hit them all. Go peep Key Collector. But this right here is the last-ditch effort to secure a New Mutants 98 for seemingly, that's why people buy the book right before the trailer. What they hope is the cheapest it'll be before it goes up again. The newsstand 6.5 is up 5%. The newsstand 8.5 is up 19%. The newsstand 9.2 is up 6%.
The direct market 8.0 is up 3%. The 9.2 is up 11%. The 9.4 is up 9%.
The 9.6 is up 16%. And then we have a 9.8 selling at average pricing, $1,449. However, consider this. That's average, but in the last week, since we've chatted about this book last, which, by the way, I believe we're the only ones covering the increase of census count in the entire comic community on key issues like this, there have been an increase of 16 new 9.8s added to the census. Even if half or even a third of them hit the market, you would expect that that number wouldn't meet the average selling percentage, and it just did. This book is hot.
The last GPA sale for the direct market 9.8 is $1,263, so collectors still grabbing it under average. However, that newsstand 9.8 selling for more than double, $3,050, just clocked in for an increase of 12% above its 12-month average.
What did you think about the trailer for Deadpool and is it Deadpool and Wolverine? I don't know. What Super Bowl is it? Let me know in the comment section below, and as always,
Geek responsibly and stay minty fresh.
Enough said.